Good morning. So my dad passed away a number of years ago. Just have wonderful, wonderful memories growing up in Mount Prospect. And my dad worked really hard. He worked 7 days a week. Sometimes my mom would sing the Christmas hymn, O Come, Emmanuel. That's my dad's name, is Emmanuel. She would sing that, and it was her way of saying, okay, it's time to come home from work. But some evenings he got home a little bit earlier. And he'd usually have a drink when he got home. He'd have VO and 7-Up. And every once in a while, he'd say, 7-Up time. And that meant for me and Rick. Now, Rick and I were the pups. We're 5 and 7 years younger than the next oldest sibling, John. And so we're the pups. And so when he said 7-Up time, we understood what it meant. It meant it's time because before we got the 7-Up, we had to go upstairs and get our pajamas on. Now, normally, probably slow as molasses when I was told, oh, it's time to go to bed, you got to put your pajamas on. It's like, oh man, I didn't want to do that. But man, when it was 7-Up time, well, I can remember Rick and I scrambling up the flight of stairs to our room, getting our PJs on. The ones with I used to like those ones with the feet that were built in. It was kind of cold on there. I liked that. And we'd come back down, and our chins were like about at the counter, okay? And he'd pretty much have 2 shot glasses out there, and we weren't getting, I don't know, maybe they're a little bit bigger. Maybe we got 2 ounces of 7-Up, but we would be, you know what we're looking at. Got to make sure that I've got as much as him, and we just want to make sure that it's fair. And then we'd enjoy our 2 ounces of ice cold carbonated lemon lime soda. And then it'd be like, okay, bedtime, and we'd go to bed. I was probably 30 years old before I ever reflected back on it. Because that, of course, by the time you hit 10, you're not doing that anymore, or 9, I don't even know what it was. But it took a long time before I ever figured out why my dad did that. Yeah, he wanted to give us a little treat. It was to get us to go to bed. It was to get us to put our pajamas on without grumbling or complaining and to go to bed. And there's no caffeine in there, and just that little bit of sugar wasn't going to keep us up. It just cracks me up because it was a long time before I figured out what my dad's real motives were with 7-Up time. But man, we were so excited about that. I think back on that, and I think that was pretty clever on my dad's part. But, my dad, so if I was, he was about 39 and I was about 5 or something like that. He was a little bit ahead of me. He was just a little smarter than I was. Do you know when it comes to God, this is a poor comparison, but he's on another plane. He's on another level. I would put it this way. Sometimes people say it's like, well, we're playing checkers and somebody else is playing chess. We're playing checkers and God is playing 10-dimensional chess. He's so far ahead of us. Now, why do I say that? To me, that's comforting to know that he's that far ahead of us, that we're not going to be able to figure him out. We're not going to be able to, I'm not saying we can't know him, and I'm not saying that we're not created in his image and that we can't connect with him. But it's good to know that he's way ahead of us. Whatever's happening in the world, he's got this. I really believe that we can trust him, that he is trustworthy. The world that's around us here, anyway, it's temporal. It's not going to last forever. But the kingdom that he offers us, the life that he gives us, is eternal. Each and every one of us are an eternal soul. I think of the prophet Isaiah. He writes this, "My thoughts are nothing like your thoughts, says the Lord, and my ways are far beyond anything you could imagine. For just as the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts." I take comfort in that, because not only are they higher, but he's love. It'd be one thing, if God were powerful and wise and all that, but he didn't care about us, well, we'd be in trouble. And if he cared about us, but wasn't wise or powerful, we'd also be in trouble. But he loves us, and he's powerful, and he's wise. He's got this. We can trust him. God bless you. Have a great week.